Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Tiffany, and today we are kicking off your highly requested movies in May with the classic screwball comedy, It Happened One Night. Okay, so It Happened One Night was directed by Frank Capra, which is a favorite on this channel, released in 1934, starring Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable, with other notable performances by Walter Connolly, Jameson Thomas, and Roscoe Carnes. Okay, so a quick synopsis of the film. It says, spoiled heiress Ellie Andrews impetuously marries the scheming King Wesley, leading her tycoon father to spirit her away on his yacht. After jumping ship, Ellie falls in with cynical newspaper reporter Peter Warren, who offers to help her reunite with her new husband in exchange for an exclusive story. But during their travels, the reporter finds himself falling for the feisty young heiress. Whew, so this sounds like this is going to be a really interesting film. Alright, so at this point we are going to get into some historical background. For those of you who want to go straight on to the film reaction, go for it. But for those of you who want to stay, we're going to get right into it. Okay, so nobody expected this film to have the success that it had. In fact, the odds were unfavorably stacked against it. Prior to the release of this film, Columbia Pictures was actually considered to be a B-picture studio, and it was also considered to be on Poverty Row, which was a term that was used for studios that released low-grade films or low-budget films. So a lot of actors that were contracted by A-list studios like MGM or Paramount wanted absolutely nothing to do with this film. In fact, Claudette Colbert herself wanted nothing to do with this film, and it was said that Clark Gable was given this project as punishment, which was later discredited by Clark Gable. He actually was given the film because there was a scheduling hole in his schedule, and they didn't want to be paying him to do nothing. Okay, so when this film was released at Radio City Music Hall in New York, it wasn't initially a smash hit. The reviews were neutral, and it didn't become like a smash hit until it reached public theaters. And once it reached public theaters, people were going crazy for this film. In fact, it was the first film to win in all major categories at the Oscars, including Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Directing, Best Adapted Screenplay, and then of course the big win, which is Best Motion Picture. Now, some interesting facts about this film. So as I said earlier, nobody expected this film to be a success. So when Claudette Colbert was to receive Best Actress, she actually wasn't even at the ceremony. She was at a train station waiting for a train. So they had to have officials rush her to the ceremony to receive her award, which I just thought was funny because like literally nobody thought that this film was going to have the success that it had. So not only did this film change the careers of the actors and filmmakers associated with this film, it also made big money moves for Columbia Pictures. So after the release of this film, Columbia Pictures decided to continue working with Frank Capra, and they released films such as Mr. Deeds Goes to Town and You Can't Take It With You. So after releasing a slew of successful comedies, Columbia Pictures was eventually deemed a respectable studio. And then finally, one little funny fact that I just thought was so strange. Because of Clark Gable's quote-unquote sexy shirtless scene, a lot of men decided to ditch their undershirts, which I thought was super funny. I am super excited to get into this film, but before we do, y'all already know the deal. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. Yes, everybody, because we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We are almost there. Thank you to all of you who have already subscribed. As always, if you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, everyone, it is time to get your snacks, get your drinks, and let's get into What Happened One Night. I'm so excited to be watching a Frank Capra film again. I think the last one that we saw on this channel was, oh geez, it must have been a while ago. I think it was it Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? I think that was the last Frank Capra film that we saw on this channel. I might be mistaken, I don't remember. But nonetheless, I'm super excited to watch a Frank Capra film. It has been a minute, and I absolutely love his directing style.
I'm not going to eat a thing until you let me off this boat.
Oh, come now, Ed.
Can't you get it through your head that King Wesley and I are married?
While you've been on board, I've been making arrangements to have your marriage annulled.
One thing that I missed so dearly about movies from the 1930s was the lighting and how they're soaked in lighting, like the studio lights. I absolutely missed this aspect of 1930s films, and I just love it.
I'll scream if I want to.
All right, scream.
Oh, man.
Ellie!
Oh, and she just jumps right off. She's like, I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm just going to jump off the boat. Well, there you go. That's one way to solve it.
She got away from us, sir. Of course she got away. She's too smart for you. Send a wireless to the Lovington Detective Agency. Daughter escaped again. Watch all roads, airports, and railway stations in Miami.
He has a lot of influence if he's able to, like, have people kind of scouting these different flows of transportation. Really gives you the sense that he's a prominent figure.
Here's your ticket. Thank you very much.
Hey, what's going on here? I'd like to use that phone.
There's a man biting a dog in.
Oh, it's Clark Gable. And this is Clark Gable, like, pre-Gone with the Wind. This is, like, Clark Gable before he, like, hit stardom. He was still, like, a well-known actor, but this was before he was catapulted into celebrityhood.
When you get back to New York, you keep far away from this office. You're fired. You don't work here anymore, and you never will.
Oh, so you're changing your tune, eh?
I think now that I have context of movies prior to the 1930s, after watching Wings, I feel like just in it's been not even 10 years yet since synchronized sound has been introduced into modern cinema. And I just feel like just how far they'd come in not even a decade of having this technology is absolutely, it's profound. Like, to be able to see what we do with technology and how we evolve it in such a short time, I just think it's so amazing, especially to see it utilized in cinema.
Are these seats reserved?
No, first come, first served. These seats accommodate two people, don't they? Well, maybe they do and maybe they don't. This is a maybe they do.
I absolutely love the wittiness of this dialogue. Already, I can feel it. And I love their chemistry. Like, we haven't even seen that many scenes between Claudette and Clark, and their chemistry is already electric. And he is intrigued by her. Oh! Somebody just stole her bag. She's like, why are you running towards me? Oh my gosh.
He got away. I suddenly found myself in the middle of the brush and not a sign of this.
She didn't even notice.
I don't know what you're raving about, young man. And furthermore, I'm not interested.
She just used the, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend tactic on him. Oh my gosh.
I guess I will.
I'll tell the driver about your bag.
No, thank you. I'd rather you didn't.
Well, that's ridiculous. The company will take care of it.
See, can you understand English?
Yeah, because she doesn't want to be
Would
found.
you please keep out of my affairs?
One thing that I do like about this screwball comedy is that in this film, the main male character has slightly more of an interest in the female character. It's just a different type of relationship between the two main characters, which I like a little bit more than the dynamic in My Man Godfrey, just because there's more room for like chemistry and romantic growth, I suppose. I don't know. But I just like their character dynamic. And I like that they're kind of like, right now they're like opposites attract type, or like they're not really fond of each other, but you can tell as the movie unfolds that this is going to be the thing that kind of brings them together.
I'd like to thank you. Very good.
He snores. Oh, jeez. And he's just eating it up. Like, that's what you get. That's what you get for being stubborn. Oh my god, Clark Gable is so handsome.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know, if it were me in that scene, even though I'd be acting through it, I would be like, oh my god, this gorgeous man is staring me down. What do I do? Oh my god, I'd be so smitten. Like, I think I'm blushing right now.
No, I'm going to the Windsor Hotel.
Windsor? Say, you'll never make it in time. We leave in half an hour.
Oh, no. No, they'll wait for me.
So, I'm already noticing in Ellie's character, one thing is that you very much get the sense that she is a product of the upper class and of wealth, because she has this sort of entitlement in her character. Like, you saw her just be like, oh, they'll wait for me because do you know who I am type thing. But it's not like she's trying to be that way. I think it's just because she was born into that lifestyle, and so that's the only way she knows. But the way that Riskin wrote her character, it's like he blended it in really well with this lovable, feisty type, and it allows the audience to kind of fall in love with her character.
Where's the bus to New York?
Why, I left about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, but that's ridiculous.
Good morning. Remember me? I'm the fellow you slept on last night.
There's a certain, like, swag or suave, or dare I even say sexiness, about Clark Gable and what he brings to his characters. Because when he was in Gone with the Wind, there was, like, he was like a protector. There was, like, something about Rhett Butler that he brought to the character that was just, there was, like, a protector. He was like a protector, and he was suave while doing it. And I'm seeing that same, like, energy in the role of Peter. Like, there's like a protector sense in him. And yes, he's witty and stubborn and all the other things, but it's like there's a sort of like sexiness that he's bringing to this character, but at the same time it's like not over the top. It's like a very subtle, like, je ne sais quoi. Like, there's something about him that is just, I don't know. He's just really, really bringing something to this character that I really enjoy.
Here's your ticket.
Oh my God, she left her ticket
I found
on the
it on
bus.
the seat. You'll never get away with it, Miss Andrews.
Ooh, he knows who she is. Oh my God.
It's a spoiled brat of a rich father. The only way you get anything is to buy it, isn't it? I'm not interested in your money or your problem. You, King Wesley, your father, you're all a lot of hooey to me.
But then you have to ask yourself, why did he decide to stay? Why didn't he just board the bus to New York? Why did he stay and wait for her? If he didn't care about her, why did he do it? I don't know. Nope. It's the only seat. Oh my goodness. There's that stubbornness again. I feel like they both have a stubbornness in them, but I feel like it's like it kind of works for them. I don't know.
My name's Shapley. Might as well get acquainted. It's going to be a long trip. Gets tiresome later on, especially for somebody like you.
Oh.
You look like you got class. Yes, sir, with a capital K.
Don't you just hate when you're like on a bus ride, right? Or on like a plane ride, and you're sitting next to someone who's just like wants to tell you their entire life story and just wants to chat, and all you want to do is just put on your AirPods and listen to your music. I've been there. I think we all have at one point. It's not fun.
Because the colder they are, the hotter they get. That's what I always say. Yes, sir. When a cold mama gets hot, boy, how she sizzles.
So one thing that I really dig is that, like, that pinky ring. Like, all the men in these films from the 20s and 30s have this, like, pinky ring. I don't know what it is, but it makes them look so cool.
I'd like to sit next to my wife, if you don't mind.
Your wife?
Your wife?
I didn't do it for you. His voice gets on my nerves.
He totally did it for her. Come on. Also, I want to give love to Clark Gable's character, Peter Warren, because there's depth in his character too, because he could easily just be a stubborn news reporter that's just trying to get a story, but there's other aspects of his character. He is a provider, a protector. You can tell that when he loves someone or when he loves something, he really cherishes that thing, So these characters have a lot of depth to them, and I think that's one of the reasons why this film has held up well in time, because it's something that you can still find yourself in.
$1.60.
He's like, you don't have the money for chocolates, babe.
You had $4 last night. Hey, Brat!
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Come on, we're stopping here for the night.
He's just like kind of taking her under his wing, but I suspect that's also because like she's a big story. So he's trying to also get this exclusive story from her. But at the same time, it's like, you're being awfully protective of her, sir. Are you sure it's just for the story?
Good evening. Hope you and your husband rest comfortable.
I just had the unpleasant sensation of hearing you referred to as my husband.
You know, this film reminds me of The Proposal, just in the character dynamic of Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds' character. Like, at first they were butting heads and they didn't like each other, and then through the course of the film they found romance. So that it kind of reminds me of this film.
If you're nursing any silly notion that I'm interested in you, forget it. You're just a headline to me.
Yeah, right.
What I want is your story. Exclusive.
I think at this point she's definitely starting to become intrigued by him.
Behold the walls of Jericho. Do you mind joining the Israelites? You don't want to join the Israelites? Perhaps you're interested in how a man undresses.
Oh no! It's the sexy scene.
No, I have a method all my own. If you'll notice, the coat came first, then the tie, then the shirt. After that, it's every man for himself.
I love how he's describing how he undresses. It's so funny because it's like, this is so not sexy, or at least what we would think today in 2021. Like, this is not sexy at all. But for the 1930s, this was like risque, which is weird because, like, even watching, you know, our silent film in the last video, what they considered to be like, I guess, too much was totally not that much at all. So I just think it's funny what they thought was like promiscuous and risque and do like too much. Like, if they were to see some of the stuff we have now, they'd be freaking out, like completely freaking out. But yeah, that was a very interesting scene.
Good night's rest will do you a lot of good. Besides, you got nothing to worry about. The walls of Jericho will protect you from the big bad wolf.
Oh my god, why am I'm getting so smitten. Oh my god, the dialogue is so good in this film. And Clark Gable is just like making it his own. And I'm here like blushing over a film that's almost 90 years old. I can't.
We should take those things off the walls of Jericho.
Oh, excuse me.
It's showing a certain level of intimacy without physically showing intimacy. And so it kind of the lighting allows the audience to kind of be in that sort of curiosity or that mystery with Peter's character. So I really appreciate the way that Capra shot this scene. It makes it that much more like intriguing as a scene in general.
You've got a name, haven't you?
Yeah, I got a name. Peter Warren.
I don't like it.
Don't let it bother you. You're giving it back to me in the morning.
Don't let it bother you. You're giving it back to me in the morning. Like, who thinks of this this dialogue is so engaging and so witty and so much fun. Like, nobody says that and nobody talks like that, but it's so like, it just makes the movie so enjoyable.
Checking every northbound train. Also assigned 20 operatives to watch main highways. No sign of your daughter yet.
What's the matter? You not up yet? Here.
Oh, it's a toothbrush, thanks.
Oh my gosh, did you guys see that? That was Colgate. The toothpaste was the brand Colgate. Wow. From the 30s. I had no idea. That's awesome.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Well, I really
5,
think you
6,
would.
7,
I'm
8,
out.
9,
I'm out.
Come on, make it
Well,
snap.
wait, it's not my fault. You got the sleeve.
I feel like there was some ad-libbing in that scene because there were some parts that felt very natural and kind of playful, and I really appreciated that. I think that was really that was really sweet.
You're kind of little, aren't you?
Where's the shower?
You know, your hair's cute like that. You should never comb it.
I'll find it myself.
This theme of, you know, having a love story in the midst of a sort like a journey or like a fleeting moment, like how we saw in Brief Encounter. I don't know why, but that type of love story is so engaging for me personally. I really love those types of love stories because it's like such a chance encounter. Because, you know, when you're traveling, you're not expecting to fall in love with someone. But I just love this idea of falling in love in a fleeting moment. There's just something about it that I personally just really love.
Are the showers in there?
Well, they ain't out here.
Thank you.
No! You want a shower around here, you'll stand in line.
That would honestly be like the worst, to have to wait in line for someone to take a shower. Like, I don't know about y'all, but my showers are like, they usually are like 20 to 30 minutes long, okay? Because I'm just in there like enjoying my shower, you know, thinking about things over the day. That's like my time to like debrief. But like having to sit there and wait for someone to go through that would be terrible.
You think I'm a fool and a spoiled brat. People who are spoiled are accustomed to having their own way. I never have. On the contrary, I've always been told what to do and how to do it and when and with whom.
Like I said, I really love the way that Riskin wrote her character because, again, she's a woman who grew up in wealth and grew up in the upper class. And she does have this, like, you know, oh, everyone should be waiting on me. But as she just explained, that's how her whole life has been. She's always been told what to do, when to do it, how to dress, etc. And she's never had that freedom to just be who she is. And I think that even in this scene, just giving us this scene alone, allows the audience to kind of find themselves in her character versus just having her as like a two-dimensional, you know, snobby heiress with no complexity. So I really love that Riskin gave her this scene and gave her more depth to her character because it allows us to really find ourselves in her. Oh my God, they've discovered her. What?
Yeah,
What is he doing?
I got a letter from Aunt Bella last week. I don't care if they're the whole police department. They can't come busting in here shooting questions of my way.
Oh my God, they're totally like playing with each other. This is hilarious.
You're just like your old man. What's a plumber's daughter? Always a plumber's daughter. Then an ounce of brains in your whole family.
Oh, Peter, what you've got for them, I won't see.
I wonder if this scene was like improv or if it was like scripted. Because if it was improv, this is so like this is so funny because they're just bouncing off of each other and I really love it. And you can just see like there's like this sense of playfulness in their characters. I don't know, I love this scene. It's hilarious.
You know, you weren't bad jumping in like that. You've got a brain, haven't you?
Oh, well, you're not so bad yourself.
Oh. And the Oscar goes to. I definitely can see why they both won an Oscar for this film.
Clark, send the story to all the newspapers. Some of the out-of-town papers may not have a picture of it. Here, wire this to them.
Man, her dad is loaded. For all the publicity that he's asking for, he is absolutely loaded. Oh no! Oh, that chatty guy now knows that she's Ellie Andrews. Oh, man.
Left in this wide world to weep and to mourn.
I feel like this movie is so modern. This movie is so modern. No, I feel like this movie has held up in time really well. You can tell certain parts where the actors aren't necessarily acting. They're just kind of, you know, being in the moment and enjoying what's going on in their surroundings. And you can't help but love that part of, you know, this film. And just the love story. It's just it feels very timeless. It's definitely something that you could watch today and still be entertained by. So, yeah, I really love that aspect of this film.
The tears were like hailstones that rolled down my cheeks. Alas, alack, and Alaska.
In Alaska.
I went to this fellow.
It's certain scenes like this in films that really makes me love people. Like, just being in the midst of others and sharing an experience with others. It just makes me appreciate that about life, really. Just having, I don't know, just seeing people be happy and singing. And you always hear about the negative sides of, you know, humanity, but there are also some positive sides. And it's really, it's beautiful to see the positive sides in cinema.
Traveling like this, you kind of lose track of what's going on in the world. If I was to see that dame, you know what I'd do?
What's in your mind?
5 G's or I crab the works.
He cannot be serious. He cannot be serious. This is not serious.
And I got a couple of machine guns in my suitcase. I'll let you have one of them. We're holding that dame for 1 million smaggers.
Wow.
Say, I didn't know it was anything like this. You see, I got...
He's making it seem like it's like a mafia hit. That's hilarious.
Got a couple of kids, huh?
Oh my God, you can see the
yes,
fear
they're
in his
just
eyes.
babies.
Now beat it.
Sure, mister. Thanks. You ain't gonna shoot me in the back, are you?
If you don't beat it,
I'll go.
He wasn't even able to get his bags. He just ran. Poor guy. But he was really nosy. He needed to just stop.
What's the matter? Why do we have to leave the bus?
come on, don't ask so many questions.
Well, why?
I wish you'd stop being playful.
Oh, so sorry. Sorry.
This scene with like the water glistening, and then just the added bonus that this is in black and white, so it looks like it's like silvery water glistening, and then their silhouettes as they're having this dialogue. It's just like an artistic style for me. I just really love the way that Capra framed this scene. I don't know why. It just makes it so much more artistic and alluring, I suppose.
You know, this is the first time in years I've ridden piggyback.
This isn't piggyback. I bet there isn't a good piggyback rider in your whole family. I never knew a rich man yet who could piggyback ride.
That is totally not piggyback. Definitely that's over the shoulder, not piggyback.
Why did I ever get mixed up with you?
If being with me is so distasteful to you, you can leave.
Oh, she thinks he left her.
But I went to try and find you something to eat.
Oh, I know,
But he tried to get her something to eat. Oh my god. See, just little things that he doesn't have to do. You know, like I said, he could just be like a snobby news reporter that doesn't care about her, but clearly he cares about her well-being. It's just those little things that I really appreciate about this film. He's tucking her in. Stop. Ooh, they're a little close. Ooh. Love the tension there. Like, one thing that I really love is that they are showing intimacy without physically showing intimacy. Which, okay, part of me is like, I wish they would kiss. Okay, whatever. But the other part of me is like, I really appreciate that they are able to kind of show that without, going too far. Because it makes the courtship of this film that much more like romantic, I suppose. Because it's like, it's all this mystery, like, oh, are they going to kiss? Are they going to get together? It's all this tension that's being built up. So it just makes the courtship more romantic. She's starting to fall in love with him. God, she married the wrong man. Let us not forget, she's a married woman. And she's falling in love with Peter. And I'm not mad at her for that.
What did you say we're supposed to be doing?
Hitchhiking. It's all that old thumb, see? It's a long, sweeping movement like this. Gotta follow through, though.
I love their chemistry. Like, it's just so playful. And then the wittiness of the dialogue just gives it that extra, like, zest. So it's just, their chemistry is so playful and it's energetic. And they're both stubborn at some points, but it works. Like, this film is so cute. Nope. Try it with the other hand. There's like 7 cars going and nobody wants to pick them up. Nope.
I'll stop a car and I won't use my thumb.
What are you going to do?
Ooh! It's those legs, baby. It's those legs. He's all mad. She's like, I got us a car.
Aren't you going to give me a little credit?
So you're just married, huh? Hitchhiking
Wow.
down.
Wow, what a lovely performance.
Hey.
He's like,
You afraid
yo,
you'll burn out
stop.
a tonsil? Tonsil? My tonsils won't burn.
I have to tell you guys a funny story. So I love sing-songing. And I do this often, especially around the house. And I live with my family. And so I'll just be constantly sing-songing around the house. And this scene reminds me, like Clark Gable, Peter reminds me of how my family members feel when I sing-song. And I'm like the guy driving. And they're just like so annoyed that all I do is sing-song all day. But that's a funny connection. I totally do this all the time. They get so mad at me.
No fooling, I'm hungry.
Eat a carrot.
He's like, I don't want a carrot.
I'm going in now, Skip.
You do and I'll break your neck. Come on, let's get out of here. Stretch our legs.
Now, why would you leave your bag in a stranger's car? That doesn't make sense.
I'm sorry,
Oh, that's all right.
Like I said, there's like a roughness to Peter, but there's also a softness to him. And I love how that keeps being played with throughout the film. It just makes him like, I don't know why that makes him attractive more. I don't like being strong talked to, okay? But the fact that he's like rough, and then there's like a softness where he's vulnerable and he's like, you know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have spoken out of turn with you. Forgive me. There's something about that I'm like, dang it. Oh my goodness. Look at this guy. Told you, shady. Shady. He's about to leave with his bag.
Hey, you got my suitcase!
How'd you get the car?
I gave him a black eye for it.
So not only did he get his suitcase back, he also got an entire car. Love it. Ooh, she's starting to fall for him. I mean, honestly, who wouldn't? He's like, he's Clark Gable, guys.
I haven't changed my mind, Wesley. I don't like you, never have, never will. Now that's clear enough, isn't it?
You've made that quite evident by your threats of annulment.
Man, an hour and 9 minutes in, and we finally are introduced to King Wesley. Man, that's wild.
I told you there's no use of our staying here tonight. We can make New York in 3 hours.
Well, whoever heard of getting in at 3 o'clock in the morning? Everybody will be asleep.
Oh, no. She wants to stay with him because she's starting to fall in love with him. She doesn't want to rush back to New York to get to King who? King Wesley. Who's King Wesley? No. She wants to stay with him. She's in love with him. And I feel like deep down, he kind of likes that.
Am I going to see you in New York?
I don't make it a policy to run around with married women.
Won't I ever see you again?
I've served my purpose. I brought you back to King Wesley, didn't I? That's what you wanted, wasn't it?
I just love how this love story has been cultivated throughout this film. Like, they could have easily, like, some films will rush the love story, or they won't put enough into the courtship aspect of it. But this film, like the pacing of this film, and just the amount of time that they're given to really fall in love is like perfect. Like, absolutely perfect amount of time. Like, at this point in the film, you feel like they're starting to really, miss each other and want to spend more time together. And you're getting it from both sides. It's not one-sided. And I just really love that about this film. Like, in this scene, you feel like the tension, and you feel like the jealousy coming from Peter, and you feel like the almost the longing coming from Ellie. And I think it's just because in this scene there's no like sound, like no music, no like sound effects. It's just silence. And I think I said in a previous video, like, sometimes silence just creates a scene. It creates a movie. And the way that Capra is using the silence in this scene is like building up this tension. And as an audience member that like the mood has changed. The feelings of the characters have changed. Capra is a freaking genius, you guys. Oh my goodness.
Have you ever been in love, Peter?
Well, I've even been sucker enough to make plans. I saw an island in the Pacific once. That's where I'd like to take her.
She's like, that's me. She is hooked on him, man.
Boy, if I could ever find a girl who was hungry for those things.
I love you. Nothing else matters. But we can run away. Everything will take care of itself.
So I already, like, this is like an aspect or an element of Screwball where, like, the male seems to be less attracted or less interested in the female character, or in vice versa sometimes. But the way that Capra kind of played with this element is something that I really feel it gives it like a modern twist. Because in My Man Godfrey was quite literally, like, the whole entire movie, he just was not interested in Irene. Like, you kind of got the sense that he was interested in her, but there was no, like, it was like very subtle. It wasn't like like spelled out for the audience. You kind of had to kind of like come to your own conclusion in that film. But in this film, you know good and well that Peter is very much interested in Ellie as much as Ellie is interested in Peter. It is just making this film for me, man.
Hey, Brad. Did you mean that? Would you really go?
Riskin allows us to see into the characters and to see into their, like, more, give us more of an emotional look into them in certain scenes. Like, it's just so well written, so well directed, acted. It's a really good film.
Well, Lafitte, where you been all this time? Everybody been asking about you.
Yeah, okay, Tony. Look, give me one drink. Don't let anybody disturb me for the next half hour.
Sure, boss.
He drove all the way to New York to write a story and then to try and drive back to her.
No, this is something you gotta do for me. I need $1,000 and I need it quick. I'm in a jam.
What's $1,000 for?
To tear down the walls of Jericho.
To tear down the walls of Jericho. He's doing this so that they can be together. I love it.
Supposing I was to tell you that Ellen Andrews is going to have her marriage annulled.
Huh?
That she's going to marry somebody else.
Who's the guy she's gonna marry?
I am, Joe. I'm in love with her, Joe.
Oh! Confession of love. Man, he's in love with her.
Isn't he here?
No, he ain't. The car's gone, too.
Oh,
You got any money?
no.
Then you'll have to get.
Yeah, you will have to get.
And then you will have to get. Okay, but low-key, if I were ever told to get out like that, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, okay, I guess I do gotta get. I love that.
Thanks, pal. You saved my life.
Okay, Pete, so long, kid, and good luck.
Thanks. Goodbye, Agnes. Oh, you're beautiful. All women are beautiful.
Oh, you're beautiful. All women are beautiful. I love it.
Ellen Andrews?
She phoned her father from an auto cab for him to come right out and get her.
You call the police department. Tell them to find Peter Wan. Send out a general alarm. I want that dirty crook pinched.
Oh, they canceled his story. Man, being an editor, at least in the 1930s, I feel like I can't breathe. There's a lot of work going on. There she is. You're too late, pal. I feel like there's a bit of miscommunication here, because I think what she was thinking is, I just confessed my love to him. He doesn't love me. I'll just go back to my, my life. And then he's thinking, she turned herself in. She didn't want to wait for me. She doesn't love me. And so now there's just that miscommunication that I feel like is going to influence the next couple scenes. I just want them to be together. She insists on, again, with the hasty marriage decisions. What is it with screwball comedies and hasty marriage decisions? Like, before you decide to get married, just wait for it to play out. And then, if it doesn't play out to your liking, then get married.
Had me going for a while, too.
Wouldn't have made a bad story of that.
No, great. When you sober up, come in and talk to me.
No, I feel like he's gonna give him back his job. Just, again, I know I keep talking about it throughout this film, but there's just so, like, every character has, like, a depth to them, because the city editor could have just been like, like two-dimensional, don't really have any emotions, like random boss, but they gave him depth in that scene where we almost saw him forgive Peter. Like, hey, you know what? You win some, you lose some. Come talk to me once you've gathered yourself. We'll have a conversation. And what we can assume, you can have your job back. But it's just like those little key details is what separates this from other movies that I've seen from the 30s thus far. Like, I just love the detail in this film.
You haven't fallen in love with someone else, have you?
He says you raised me stupidly.
Now, that's a fine man to fall in love with. Well, what are we going to do about it? Where is he?
This scene, you see that he wasn't trying to find his daughter out of control or out of power to control every aspect of her life. He truly loves his daughter, and he truly wants her to have the best in life. And again, I love how they've painted these characters in this way of they've made them very human. They've made them very realistic characters. Like, not every tycoon is an emotionless, power-hungry being, and not every Eris is, a money squandering, selfish person. There's depth to these characters. There's a wide range of emotion that's being shown through each character. And I just think that Riskin just really wrote these characters so well. I can see why the general public just fell in love with this film, because I feel like it was just created with a lot of empathy, and you can tell that he really felt for these characters. He really cared for them. You can just tell in the way that they're acting and in the dialogue. I think he just did such a fantastic job with this screenplay.
But under the circumstances, don't you think we'd better call this thing off?
No, I'll go through with it.
Oh, but that's silly.
Why? You're not even in love with him.
I'm tired of running around in circles.
Like, every aspect of this story has been thought out. Every aspect of it. Like, none of it, at least from what I'm watching, and I don't know if you guys might see something different, but nothing is glossed over. Everything is, like, thought out, and, there's a reason behind everything. There's a reason why she's decided to just settle down with King Wesley, because of her experience and hearing, she's been going at it all her life. Like, there's a reason for everything that these characters are doing. There's a motive. There's a reason.
I'll never see Peter again.
Is that his name?
You haven't heard from him, have you?
Don't be silly, of
Oh,
course.
please.
Oh, like, what a nail in the coffin. Miscommunication.
She thinks you're entitled to anything you can get.
I got it all itemized.
Total $39.60.
I love that he didn't take the money, but it wouldn't have made sense if he took the money. So I'm glad that they decided to just let him, not take the reward money.
I asked you a simple question. Do you love her?
Yes! But don't hold that against me. I'm a little screwy myself.
Oh, I love his stubbornness. Oh my God, they see each other.
Perfect. Now you look natural.
Stay around and watch the fun. You'll enjoy it immensely.
I would, but I've got a weak stomach.
They've taken this like both of their stubbornness, and they've still made it like enjoyable. At least in my opinion, they've made it enjoyable for the audience, because you're like, we know that they're both in love with each other. They've confessed that they're both in love with each other, not to each other, but you know what I mean. And you can't help but be amused. Like, you guys are so stubborn. You think you hate each other, but we know that you are both completely in love with each other. And so you're not left to wonder, and in that frustration, you're let in. So I just love that they decided to do that. And she looks beautiful. I love her headpiece. It really completes the look.
If you change your mind, your car's waiting at that gate.
Man, he loves his daughter. One thing that I love is that the father is completely the opposite of what you'd think. Like, as I said earlier, you'd think he would be like this controlling type father. Like, he's not controlling at all. He really wants his daughter to make her own decision in this situation. And I really appreciate that.
So long as ye both shall live.
No, you're in love with Peter. Queen! Run! They're getting the story of the century. She is out.
They made me get 'em a rope and a blanket on a night like this.
I just brung him a trumpet.
A trumpet?
The walls of Jericho are coming down. What a way to symbolize the beginning of their relationship. Oh, that was fantastic. That was such a fantastic movie. Wow. Yeah, that was really good. I really enjoyed it for a bunch of different reasons. Like I said, the way that Riskin wrote these characters, they just fit so perfectly into this setting, into this story. And then the mastermind of Capra. Can we talk about Capra for a second? He is just a visionary when it comes to these sorts of films. It was just a beautiful blending of, a well-written script and a really good director. And then with the actors, the chemistry between Ellie and Peter, what Clark and Claudette brought to the characters. This film was just so well done. I think it definitely held up well in time. and I would recommend it to anyone who wanted to just kind of get like a refreshing feel of comedy. Like if you've seen too many of the same romantic comedies, I definitely recommend this film. It's something old, but it's something new. And I definitely give this one, I'm going to give it a 10 again. I know I've been giving out my 10 very generously. Thank you to all of you who have recommended it over the many months that we've been doing this. Definitely worth the wait. Thank you guys so much. All right, everybody, that does it for this video. As always, if you liked it as much as I did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. All right, everyone. So in the next video, we are going to be continuing your highly requested films in May with the film The Thin Man. I'm so excited to watch this, honestly, because we saw Myrna Loy in The Best Years of Our Lives and we saw William Powell in My Man Godfrey. So I'm excited to see them acting together. As always, if you haven't seen the film, I suggest that you check it out in its entirety or read a quick synopsis of it just so that you have an idea of what we are going to be watching, and then come back with all your movie facts and your movie insights and we will talk about it in the comments. I'm super excited. I always encourage all of you just to check out that discussion tab because I always post on there just in case there's any updates or changes in our schedule for the week. And finally, as always, I just want to say thank you to all of you, to the subscribers, to the commenters, to the viewers. This has been such an amazing experience. Everyone, please stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Bye, everybody.